If I gave you what you wanted, you'd never be full. That's the trappings of your body.
I'm Shell Zenner with Showstream down at Yes in Manchester, up on the roof terrace with the incredible Murder Capital. How you doing, guys?
What's the crack show?
Fab to be back in Manchester.
Yeah.
You've been here a few times before, haven't you, for some very sweaty shows?
Yeah, true.
How have your experiences of Manchester been so far?
Really nice. The last time we had our own gig was in the soup kitchen. That was just a sweat box, and then the next time we did an in-store in Fob. That was around the album release. So that was really nice, like getting to say hello to everyone.
I mean, you had lots of good things planned around the album release as well. Did it make it feel real when you were out there playing all these in-stores and hometown shows and stuff?
I mean, like we did, like the day the album came out, we played an in-store in the Thomas House in Dublin, and then we played the Button Factory that night, and then...
Was that a secret one that wasn't revealed until the last minute? There was one, wasn't there?
That was the next day.
Yeah.
We only planned that at like maybe 6 o'clock.
Yeah. That wasn't, well, I mean, we did Kilkenny, and then we did Limerick, and we got into the van after Limerick, and like that had been like 4 shows in like
24 hours.
24 hours, and then I was the last to get to the van. The boys were like, "Oh, we just do one of Workman's like at 12," and I was like, "Damn!" But we did it. It was fun. It was
felt
cool.
really good.
Yeah. That was an interesting one because like we had no clue if anybody was going to come or like what was going to happen, and then it was like,
Really?
yeah.
That's because it was so last minute. I mean, I remember seeing you at the Great Escape earlier on this year. What was it, this year? Yeah, at the Irish Showcase with Inhaler on as well. And there was literally one in, one out, a queue down the stairs and out the building. Did you know then how much your music was resonating with people?
I don't know if we still do.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's like
Really?
There's a certain disconnect, but there's also like you go to the show and you kind of experience it then. But you know, when you're out now and it's about, like, it's sometimes not on your mind at all, which is kind of nice as well. But I don't know if you think about how much it resonates with people sometimes. I think it's just when you're having a conversation one-to-one with someone after a show, you feel it then.
Do you get a lot of people coming up to you at the end of the shows, investing in merch, that kind of thing?
No, we like to talk to them after the shows.
I mean, that's the cool thing about like doing shows. Like the Button Factory show in Dublin, the day that the album came out, was like, it felt like we were something. It was the first time we felt from Irish people. Well, not the first time, but like definitely it was a like pivotal show for me that like we were something that people were getting behind or like they could recognize as like that's us. And like I think being able to be something like that for people that like give people identity and like express who they are like is really cool.
So you work with Flood. How did that come about? I was like not anticipating that to happen.
Yeah. Did he like skydive out of an airplane and just landed outside
Listening to a
our
demo.
Listening to a demo.
Really?
Yeah, he's really unusual.
Well, if working with Flood was amazing. Like he understood us as people as much as he understood us as artists, and like, that was very important. But yeah, we were trying to figure out who would be good at doing it, and like I think the list that we would have wrote down, he was like very high up, not at the first, but like it was like that's what we'll get if it's a dream situation, and then it managed to fall, like demos did manage to fall into his inbox, and once he heard them, he kind of like, no, it wasn't taking no for an answer, but he's like I'm doing this, like, so that was class.
Well, we did Feeling Phase with him as like a tester to whether this would be like a good idea to go forward, and it was amazing for us and it was great for him. So we just
Proof was in the pudding.
Yeah. It's kind of like that thing of like what you were saying earlier, when we let people in, you know, they said everything that we're about, and he just seemed to have gone that, and it just felt like a good connection.
And like the other people who worked in it with us in the Salt and Battery, like Richie and Tom, who like we were like screaming, crying, hugging the whole time we were through it and doing the record. Like, so if we didn't have people that we couldn't do that in front of, like it wouldn't have been as an honest a record as we made for ourselves. Like.
I mean, I'm looking at the track list now, and every song is just an absolute tune. So intense, whether slow or whether faster. I mean, the first time I heard For Everything just completely blew me away, more or less as well. I mean, are your families proud? Are they like, do they get where you're coming from now?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I
My
don't
dad
know
was
if
just like, he'd always say to me, I didn't think an old man like myself would be listening to post-punk.
Postpone. Yeah.
That's enough for me. Like, now I can't get him to stop. Like,
I mean, it's a
Now
hard one.
he's a Shame fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Him
It's a hard
Green
one
go
to
for
sell to
pints
your
all the
parents.
time.
Like, I mean, becoming a musician is like, well, it'll be hard to do that now. And like, you just like, you're told to do other things, but now, like in fairness, when the album came out and like they saw the buzz that was going around, like, I guess they understood that like it was real, and so I mean that does fill somewhat with pride. It felt like the day the album came out, it felt like a communion for Martin. It was
What about the first time you held the physical release? Was that a real moment?
We had a moment in James's house with the test pressing.
pressing.
Yeah, so we sat opposite a piano.
It was on the piano.
Yeah, we sat opposite the piano. The record player was on the piano, and the five of us just sat there listening to it. But like at the time, it was like just making sure it sounded right, that there was no things. But then you could see like the reflection of the five of us. Every time you looked up, everybody else was looking
you could
down.
see it in the back of the piano in the dark, like
These floating heads, like.
Everything is intense about your sound. Everything is intense
I was
about your
having a
music.
complete breakdown in the middle of that because the record player was on the piano, and there's a button or like a pedal on the piano that stops all the strings in the back of the panel of the piano from ringing out.
Okay.
So during the entire record, every now and again I get a woof of bass and a luff of all I was saying. I was like, when was that there? When was that mixed like that? And then like maybe 3 songs from the end, I just had to get up and I figured it out. It was the fucking thing, and I put it back in, and I was like, thank Christ.
It's not me,
my-
it's not the record.
Yeah, no, it
The
wasn't the
whole
record.
piano
The whole-
vibrating.
it's just resonating with the. Oh, it was,
Amazing.
it'd be cool if there was like a button that you could put that effect onto the whole album.
no.
You do like first and bass.
I have to go
remix,
back
maybe.
to.
Like being able to work with Flood and Mulder, the cool thing about it was I found at the end was that before the songs were recorded, they only really existed when we played them, or they were in our heads. Whereas once we had them recorded, they were like tangible things. And I think the both of them were working with us to like manage to make the song sound exactly how they were to us. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that was mad when we were sitting in James' house and we got the test press, and like it just came through the letterbox, and it was like, it's so handy if like that's what the way that albums just come to you. You just get it through the letterbox. You don't have to do anything.
Simple as that. And we
Simple
don't-
as that. If they had got that like a year ago, it would be so handy.
I mean, the artwork is really striking. I mean, who came up with the concept for that? Have you had other people working with you on the visual side of things?
We found that picture just on the internet, and we thought it represented what we thought was When I Have Fears, because they're in the middle. It was more that actually we liked the picture first, and then we found out the backstory, and that also reinforced as to why we would go ahead with that picture. You know?
So what was the message in the picture?
They're refugees in a sandstorm, and they're kind of like covering themselves to protect themselves, but also huddling together for protection. I thought that was kind of beautiful. Like,
It's like a sense of community, and like trying to like be there for other people who are going through the same thing, and like you're in like the worst situation you can be in, but you're still like trying to get through it with like each other in love. You know?
Wow, so powerful. No, it really, really is. I mean, people can like be a bit have preconceived ideas of what you're working with, the setup that's around you, because they just look at the album, hear how incredible it sounds, and think, oh, this band are doing really well. Look, they've got all these tour dates. How actually hard is it to keep a show on the road?
Yeah, I mean, it's like every single day, like you're just thinking about what needs to get done. There's a big long list that has to get done. It's a lot like administrating and stuff like that. But it's been a nice progression. Like the first time we were over to the UK was this time last year, like playing downstairs. But like the shows have just been slightly, getting bigger ever since. So maintaining that is just kind of looking after each other and making sure everybody that's working around you is.
We're a big family in the band.
I was going to say that. Are you really tight?
Yeah, well, like I mean, it's hard. Like we work on how we communicate with each other every day and try to figure out how to do it best. Because like you are in a confined space with like 9 people all the time, but yeah, like it's all about how we look after each other.
Yeah, and like something that was before we had like kind of a crew or anything with us, it would be the 5 of us. If anything went wrong on stage, I'd kind of trust someone else in the band to look after, like, oh, they're gonna jam for a bit now because someone needs to fix this or then now we have like Kev doing tech, and like the last day my pedalboard just died, like mid-show, just completely dies, and I've got a part coming off, so I take out my thing and I plug right into the amp. I just look at Kev and like I'm not even worried. I don't even feel worried at all. I'm just right. I feel comfortable just like with the crew now as well. It's just like you can trust everyone that's behind you and stuff.
It's huge. Like I mean, like everybody who does anything for us is as much part of us as we are, and like we don't necessarily then let people in too close, because like once you're in, like we have to be completely vulnerable the same way we are with each other. Like so.
I mean, how did you build the team around you? Are they people that you've known a long time?
Just by chance. I think so.
Sometimes how the best things work out, though. It's just meant to be, kind of like Kismet.
Yeah.
There's such a feeling going on in Dublin at the moment. There's obviously Fontaines, there's Pillow Queens, there's Inhaler. There's something in the water at the moment. What's going on? Because there's just so much talent breaking out at the moment.
I don't know if it's as much there's something in water, like, you know, there's always been good bands in Dublin. I just think that like the spotlight is on it now because, you know, we'll probably have a better answer for that maybe in 20 years' time when you look back at it all in hindsight. But it is great to see like the Irish music scene. There's a bit of attention getting there now.
I think like for years in Ireland, the idea of like getting a big record dealer, like anybody looking at you wasn't really in your mind when you started like playing guitar, learning how to do an instrument or learning to play an instrument. So it was always like about creating art for yourself to express yourself, and that was the main goal, is making the best art. And I think that may have went on for long enough in people's lives that it ends up with bands and acts that are like this now.
And who should we be checking out?
Kojak.
Junior brother.
Yeah.
Happy couple. So it's they're not from Ireland, but they're
Okay,
on tour
we'll
with
check
the
them out
moment.
anyway.
Odd Morris.
Odd Morris.
Yeah, good friends of ours.
They're Irish 3 doors down from us.
Yeah, it's annoying now because like we haven't got time to hang out in Dublin. We were just saying this the other day. We can't remember the last time we've been just gone to a gig in Dublin.
Yeah.
That wasn't somebody.
Because that's where
international, like.
that's where you get the most inspiration. But I find anyway is like the thing that like inspires me the most has been going to shows from other people who are beside you, or like from where you're from, and like seeing what they do was always like a bigger something that got me more excited to like make music and write than coming from anywhere else, you know.
And if you are an up-and-coming artist in Dublin or Ireland at the minute and you need to get out there and take in some venues, some spaces where you can make good connections and see good people and, you know, make yourself feel like you're part of the music scene, where should you go? Who should you catch up with?
Go to the Workman's Club and work hard.
Go to Garage.
Go to Garage Bar too.
Yeah, everyone goes to Garage.
Go find Trev Deeds. He'll
He'll have something to do.
And what is next for you? You've got a load more tour dates next year.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're writing when we can, but touring.
So I take it you're not writing while you're on tour, or do you manage to do that too?
It's a new thing. We have to learn to do that. Like before, we were very much get in the room and get in the headspace, and then like maybe 5 days in a row, just sit in that kind of place and work out a song or work out an idea. But now it's like you're on tour, so there's so many things interrupting that. So you have to learn not to deal with, like, you have to just learn to completely adapt to a new form of writing, and I think it's exciting, but it's hard.
Feels like an absolute whirlwind, I can't imagine. So tonight, Manchester, are you ready for it? I mean, your live show is visceral anyway, but how much energy and how much do you have to conserve to actually go out there and give the performances that you do?
Packet of crisps and a sandwich. That's all I need.
We get excited. We get each other quite excited.
Yeah, there's a half an hour like from when like Happy Couple finish that you just have to get in the headspace, and like either to like lie down on your back or start doing stretches and then like warming up your hands. I think I've lost it now. I'm actually warming my hands every day, like.
And will there be anything special channel? Because you're in Manchester tonight, obviously the home of Joy Division and so many intense sounds. Will that make it extra special for you tonight?
Manchester's just class all the time. Everyone's there always dressed very well and actually moves. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Everybody moves in Manchester, so yeah, I mean every night is the next thing that we're looking at. Once we finish the show, it's straight on to the next one. So I mean, there's no like everything we have to give to every show is what we do. So.
And you've just been announced as going to South by, right? Excited for Austin?
Yes.
Look at the smile on that face. You're thinking about tacos and margaritas, I can tell.
We're going to be there for Paddy's Day too. I'm looking forward to seeing what
Amazing.
America's like on St. Paddy's.
Well, have an amazing time in Austin. I can just imagine how intense that room is going to be. And hopefully there'll be an Irish breakfast because there normally is at the Irish Showcase.
That's
White
right.
pudding? Yeah?
Do it.
Trying to cut
Bit
down
of
on
that?
our meat and pigs, but
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe just a little.
Maybe a little bit of black.
Vegetarian black pudding, please.
Thank you so much for the catch up. Absolutely love the rest of the tour because you're going to have a great time. And thanks for creating such a masterpiece. One of my fave albums of the year, and I'm sure countless other people's too.
Thank you very much.
So great to meet you. Thank you.
You too.
Shell
Thank you.
Zenner
This is lovely.
with Showstream at Yes with the Murder Capital.
If I gave you what you